families of these brave warriors, as well as those who aspire to become one of America's best. This has been written for the families so that they may pass on the tales of what their loved ones have sacrificed, and for Americans considering becoming SEALs so that they may begin to grasp the reality of what they are facing, should they be successful. Also, for the potential student, we have chosen to include a section on the current training pipeline, along with a brief narrative highlighting some of the experiences faced going through basic underwater demolition SEAL training, BUDS. There is no special secret to becoming a Navy SEAL beyond this. You must have a burning desire to earn the title beyond anything else in your life, and be willing to die before you would quit. Train hard to prepare, harder than you ever have in your life, but never forget that it is the inner fire and desire to become a SEAL that will push you past all boundaries and allow you to persevere during those moments when you are beyond cold, beyond tired, and have been wet and sandy hour after hour with no end in sight. Remember that in order for our citizens to remain able to live free, there must be those brave souls who answer the call and be willing to fight to preserve it. You could be part of that next generation. We would also like to honor and thank the families of these men who hold down the fort and provide the support for the men who live much of their life away from those they love, both in training and in war, which allows them to maintain the absolute focus and razor edge required to do the work they are called upon to do every day. Hoo-yah! Don Mann and Lance Burton. Introduction. A book about the combat history of the Navy SEALs is essentially one about the evolution of warfare. Since the dawn of civilization, there has existed a special class of individual who is called upon to defend those with whom he loves and lives. As society has developed, each era of history has seen peoples and nations take a divergent path, often leading to conflict. At the core of such conflict are very fundamental elements of what it means to be human. We all have basic needs and desires, some as foundational as the need for food and water, and others as complicated as what bloodlines make up our ancestors, or what religious or philosophical premises we hold dear. However, in each case, when conflict arises, someone must take on the role of defender. In this way, the U.S. Navy SEALs are the result of thousands of years of lessons learned on the bloody battlefields of history. In order to truly understand what makes a Navy SEAL what he is now, we must go back and take a closer look at the warriors from ages past who inspired them to do the things they have done in the pursuit of honor and skill on the battlefield. First and foremost, a Navy SEAL is a professional. He is neither conscript nor slave, and at the root of his being is a steadfast belief that the ultimate dishonor would be to fail to stand up with his brothers in the face of the enemy. To not fight when he is needed and called upon is tantamount to the one thing that is anathema to a SEAL: to quit. Simply put, quitting is not an option. The bond forged in training and on the field of battle has been an essential ingredient of the glue that holds men together when their lives are at stake. It has been said that there exists no greater bond than the one formed in battle, as one willingly risks his life for the sake of something greater than himself. But what is the true lineage of the Navy SEAL? In recorded history, the lineage can be traced all the way from the first human beings on the planet through various major points along the way. In fact, the Assyrians are many times noted as bearing the title the first superpower of the world. Although which ancient culture has a right to that title is debatable, the Assyrian army set the standard for warrior cultures that came after them in one important way: discipline. Membership in the Assyrian military was an extremely disciplined affair. Regulations involving uniformity, order, and conduct were encoded in texts of which every soldier was to be familiar. Refusal to follow good order and discipline was met with harsh punishment, offering strong motivation to toe the line. In this way, the Assyrian soldiers were one of the first to be held to such a uniform standard. From the 10th century BC until the 7th century BC, the Assyrian culture dominated the far reaches of Mesopotamia and held the mantle as the most powerful army of its day.